Nobody's gonna give me any more money to go to school. I've used all my resources. It's this or, you know, back to a life of stripping. Mm, mm, mm. Hello, Governor. It's Rakai Steve, new from the Ville, here to talk to you about The Bear, Season 4, Episode 1, Groundhogs. But first, let me tell you a little story. You know, when I came out of the Army off of active duty, I didn't have any business being in anybody's school at all. But when you come back to the world, you just think you're supposed to pick up your life and go forward. No matter how much PTSD I had, no matter how much trauma I was dealing with from that situation and all the other family situations that attributed to my PTSD, I just picked up with my life, went to college, did what I was supposed to do. I failed everything, every class, and I was there. I would be in class, but I wasn't in class. So once they put me out of that school, I went to another school for a semester, and they put me out. Failed everything. I went to another school. I made better grades, but they put me out. They said, nah. And then I finally went to my last college, and it actually wasn't my last college, but at that time I felt like this was my last chance to make something of my life. But because that desperation had set in and that sense of finality, I was working against the clock. And I was like, this is it. Nobody's gonna give me any more money to go to school. I've used all my resources. It's this or, you know, back to a life of stripping. Okay, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? I try new things. I don't know. Anyway, I graduated with a dual major in accounting and business management, summa cum laude. What changed? Me? Was it that I knew the clock was running and I didn't have any additional chances to get it right? Maybe. Who's to say? The one thing I do know is that sometimes you suffer a setback and all it does is set you up for a comeback. Let's talk about it. Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steve, new from the Ville. I'm here to talk about The Bear, Season 4, Episode 1, Groundhogs. Now, if you've been rocking with me for a while as I do these media therapy deep dives, you know I try to keep my recap short. I'm working on keeping it even shorter to almost non-existent, but I'm gonna give it a try. And then we'll do the quote, my personal thoughts, and then we're out. Now we pick up right after the end of Season 3. At the end of Season 3, they had the reviewer come in. He left. We saw the closing of Ever, a wonderful restaurant that pretty much mentored a lot of the people in The Bear. And then right as the episode was going off, the review came out in the paper and everyone got the review, but we didn't get the exact words. So now we're seeing the words. And they said that the menu was inconsistent and The Bear had a chaotic atmosphere. Who would have think it? But they praised the food. They praised the sandwich window, said it was magnificent, one of the best things going about The Bear. But they said it had a cultural dissonance. And that took Carmi for a loop. And everyone that read the article, even though it's a mixed review, it gives some positive, it gives some negative, the only thing that they could really take away from it was the negative, which is bad because here comes Cicero. And Cicero shows up to The Bear with the computer and pretty much says, we got 2 months left. And then the tap is cut off. We're out of money. We're out of time. Now, it doesn't mean that everything was in despair, but he actually put a digital clock with 1,440 hours on it. So a little over 2 months, said this is all that we have left. Adam Shapiro, who is at Ever, has got his own backers. He's opening his own restaurant, and he has been after Sid. But Sid is hemming and hawing and won't really commit. Carmi and Sid come to an accord and decide to go after that Michelin star. If they can get the Michelin star, then they could possibly save the bear. Richie has a moment of absolute genius, and he hires Jess and Garrett and Renee from Ever to help with the efficiency, to reform all the restaurant's practices and to really buy into the non-negotiables. Carmi is having his recurring dream, and he feels like it's Groundhogs Day, which is the reason for the name of the episode. He feels like he just can't get to tomorrow. He is stuck in today, which today is a bad place. Carmi is really, really trying, and you see some growth on his part. I don't know if it was the review or just him breaking up with Claire, but a lot of things have happened that are kind of forcing his hand to be better before it's all gone. You even see a flashback early in the episode that shows Carmi pitching the idea of opening a restaurant to Mikey. And it's kind of revealed later because he wanted to call the restaurant Mikey's. Mikey said, yeah, I got a better idea. You know, I love my quotes. I only have one quote today. Setbacks give us the chance to reassess and improve. So every setback is an opportunity for a better comeback. I don't know about you, but I have been set back so many times I sometimes forget to count. And I've had some comebacks. I remember Jordan saying it's not about how many times you get knocked down, it's about how many times you get up. And I'm sure other, leaders and positivity and public speakers have said something around the same time, but I remember it when Jordan said it. No, but at this point, for real, I'm tired of getting set back. It's hard to keep pulling off the comeback. Setbacks are happening. I do remember being counted out more times than I care to remember. And I keep showing up. But sometimes it's hard to show up and show out. And I do understand too, it's a common experience. I'm not the only one. It happens to other people. But it's all about how you deal with these type of adversities that can get you through. Remember, anytime you have a setback, don't allow people to put their expectations or their limitations on you. That's a reflection of them, not you. Focus on your own goals. Cultivate self-belief. And use negativity as your fuel for success. You know, that story I told in the beginning is very similar to stories I've told before about my time in the Army. When I was in basic training, I was the absolute soldier in the history of the Army. And that's not at all true, but I felt like it was. But by the time I got to my advanced school, I was a valedictorian. I was the best. Where I had drill instructors climbing all over themselves to get me to go to RIP, go Delta Force, go Special Forces and all that. And it was, sounds good. Nah. Let me give you 5 things that you should focus on when you're being counted out. So if you have a setback, here's 5 things to focus on for your comeback. Number 1, recognize it's not personal. Whatever reason that you got setback, it's not personal, even though sometimes it might be. But the setback, sometimes you need to be still. Sometimes you need to be set down because you were on the wrong course anyway. You don't need validation from external sources. You just need to believe in yourself and move forward. Pick yourself up, press forward, one foot in front of the other, one day at a time. People have a problem with you, that's their problem, not yours. Second thing you can do is focus on your strengths and your goals. It's very easy, especially after a setback, to focus on the negative. Don't do that. Focus on your strengths. Focus on your goals. Sit down and have a session with yourself. Sit down and plot, plan, strategize on how do you move forward. If you had a setback, then obviously whatever the course that you're on, that might not be working for you. It's okay to course correct. But set a plan, move forward. Set clear goals, and make sure that you celebrate the small victories, because the biggest thing that will help you after a loss is a W. So if you took a huge setback, celebrate the small wins as you build your way back. The third thing is to develop resilience. I talked about this in one of the other deep dives where I was talking about the predator killer killers. To have resilience, a little self-compassion, give yourself grace. Have a strong support system. And you need to learn from your criticism. Don't let it define you. Learn from it. You are stronger than whatever they say about you. You're better than you think you are. And I know as I say these, I'm saying these things out loud, and I know that I'm not only speaking to you, but I'm speaking to me. I can read this stuff and I say it all the time, but sometimes it's exactly what I needed to hear too. One of my favorites is to use negativity as a fuel. I talk about Jordan a lot, and he was so notorious at using negativity as a fuel that he created out of thin air, created stories in his head to fuel him to defeat his opponents on the court. He refused to lose at all costs. Whatever it took on the court to get the W, he was going to do it, including creating a story. What'd you say about me? Oh, okay. I'm about to give you these 40 points. He's like, I ain't even say nothing to you. Doesn't matter. Up here, he coming for you. And that's what you do. Turn criticism into innovation. Focus on your own narrative. That's the only thing that you can control. You can't control what other people say about you. You can't control what other people think about you. But you can control how you respond. And nothing gets under people who are too busy hating on you. Nothing gets on their nerves worse than your success. Remember your purpose. Remember your why. Take that negativity and turn it into a positive. And the last, and maybe the most important, seek help when you need it. You're not on an island. Everybody needs help sometimes. Make sure you take advantage of the help that's out there for you, your network, the people who love you, the people who trust you. Lean on them. It may be financial. It may be emotional. It may be just as a sounding board. You may need professional help. There have been plenty of people that sought professional help to help get their mind right, help order their steps. That's entirely possible. If you use these 5 steps, you can set yourself up from a setback to a comeback. But that all starts with you. This is Rakai Steed, New from the Ville. Make sure that you share this with everyone that you can think of sharing it with. Hit the like button. It's not that hard, just click. hit the like button. And make sure to comment. What do you think about these 5 steps? What do you think about setback to comeback? Is that a real thing? Have you ever had a setback that you had to come back? And at the end of the day, if you have not subscribed, it's okay. It's not too late. Hit the button, subscribe, and watch all the videos on here. You might see something that actually speaks to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's about this, but even more importantly, it's about this.